Good morning, everyone. Danielle Fitzpatrick Clark here, #1 best-selling author, authentic marketer, and intuitive biz coach. And today we are going to talk about content. And this is really important as you're becoming visible to actually have content that engages people. And it's not just like when you're actually visible, when you're on like a radio show, Facebook Live. It's actually getting people to invite you and what it is that draws them in. So killer content is really important. You always hear that saying, content is key, and it really is, and it goes in so many different areas of your business to gain you more momentum and to give you more visibility. So I'm going to just give you guys kind of a bird's eye view of what can really help you out as you're preparing content. And I use this in my own content. I've been a copywriter since 2009, so I know that this stuff really works. And what I'm going to give for you guys after this is launched, after the day 3 is launched, I'm also going to do a Facebook Live at 12:15 Eastern Standard Time today, and I'm going to talk about some of the outlets where you can get out there a little bit more, where you can be more visible. So it's really, yes, we talk about visibility and getting ourselves out there, but where do you even start? Where do you start? Where do you start looking for those opportunities? And it's not as hard as you think it is. So 12:15 Eastern Standard Time, jump on the Facebook group, make your impact, and come on over and watch my Facebook Live. And that will be today's additional mini training, bonus mini training. So, okay, let me pull up my notes here, guys, and I will talk to you a little bit more about content. So when you're using content, you use it in many different areas. You use it on social media, Facebook, Twitter, even Instagram. You use some content to really engage people further. And we don't think about content when we're showing up on video, but really it's very important too. You do write content down, and you follow that when you are visible, because you really want to get your point across. Not everybody does it. Some people, they have like me, I'm this person where I have kind of a skeleton foundation and just some bullet points, and then I talk between those to really get my points across. And I do that because I really like organic flow. I really like to have intuitive hits when I'm talking, and I like to bring in stories. I'm like, yeah, that actually would be a really good story, a really good client case study for what I'm talking about today. So depending on what your style is, you can write out your whole script when you're on an interview, or when you're doing a Facebook Live or a video for your marketing purposes, or you can kind of just have like a basic outline for what you want to cover, and leave some room for those intuitive knocks and those stories that come to you in the moment, because that's really important too, to make it very conversational when you're being visible, to really show up and be yourself and not just looking at a screen and talking into it. It really is a conversation. It really is you really are talking to someone as you're by yourself talking into your computer screen. So I'm going to give you some tips on how to get more attention with your copy as you put it out there, that will help you get more visible in front of your ideal clients, and even in front of people who want to invite you to interview on like a radio show, podcast, TV show, be a guest blogger. This stuff is really going to help you like step up and step out in the world. So first thing is to focus. I like to tell people to focus on the overall benefit of what you're talking about. So focus on what it is that people are going to benefit when they read this. And you're not necessarily thinking of everyone who reads it. You're thinking about your ideal client again. So what benefit are they going to get from reading this feature, from reading this social media post? What is it that you want to take with them? Maybe you want to inspire them. Maybe you want to encourage them. Maybe you want to give them the next 3 steps they need to blow up online, that this will get them started. So Think about the overall benefit before you write, and write it down. What is the intention behind what you're writing? What's the benefit that they're going to get? You know, something else that you guys can do is, and I like to do this, I really like to focus on the headline, like what people first read. That's really important. That you have, it's the same thing with your website. You have 5 to 6 seconds to engage someone to open an email, to engage someone to stop and read your social media post, for an editor to actually open up the query letter that you sent to them. So make sure your header is powerful and gets the point across. And to keep within that authentic marketing, make sure that your header is relevant to the content that you have produced. Sometimes people will have headers in emails where it's just a grab, it's just an attention grab. It's just an attention grab. So an attention grab for someone to open the email, but then the email has nothing to do with that. In fact, it's even worse if that header is meant for people to open. They think they're going to get some information, and then the whole email is all about sales and getting someone into the program. I mean, that's pretty much just severing that trust tie right there. So I want to make sure I'm teaching you guys to be very authentic with your header. So sometimes what I do is I'll have a header in mind. I'm like, gosh, this is such a powerful header, and I can create a whole email, or I can create a whole blog post on this subject header. And I also make sure that that subject header in some wording is in the actual email, and it's usually either in the first sentence or it's like 2 paragraphs down, and then I have it there. So that way it is connecting all the dots and it is authentic. I am teaching what the header said. I am offering what the header said. So that's really important. The header of your email, blog posts, query letters, they need to be powerful. They need to be strong. They need to get a point across. And then to be authentic, you need to use it in the content that's within that copy. And then the next thing is going along with the statistic that you have 5 to 6 seconds to engage someone. Same thing happens when they open up an email or when they look at a blog post. Those first 2 sentences, and the first sentence, the first one, is really important. That needs to be equally as powerful as the header. And it could be, you know, a lot of times I will look at what the feature is, what the benefit of the feature is, and I will hone in on my ideal client, just like, what is something that is really bothering them right now? And that pain point is the first sentence that I put in there. And it could be just something, are you tired of being the best kept secret in the industry? I know a lot of my clients feel like they've been running in circles trying to be more visible, and no one's, and they're an expert in their field. They know what they're doing. They've had tons of education, tons of experience, and they just can't seem to get things going online for them. So they feel like the best kept secret in the industry. No one knows who they are. They're not visible. They're not showing up. And sometimes it can be aggravating for someone who is that expert, who has so much to offer, and it feels like in the online space the loudest person wins, you know, the squeaky wheel. So by actually saying that in the first sentence, I engage that ideal client to keep reading further through. And of course, I hit that pain point, and I immediately try to draw them in a little further by encouraging them, like, it's okay, you know, I've been there too, or best kept secret in the industry. And there are ways to get more visible so that you're not the best kept secret, so that you are the go-to expert. So you can start with that pain point and then follow it up with something inspirational, something encouraging, so that they know there's hope and they can read on, where they'll see that wonderful information that will help them step out so they are the go-to expert. So those first 2 sentences are really important. If you don't want to start with a pain point, sometimes people don't. Sometimes they want to do more the storytelling marketing, which is, I choose that one too, all the time. And a lot of times I'll start the storytelling marketing type copy and emails with something like, you won't believe what I learned yesterday. You know, it's attention grabbing, which is also really important when you're writing copy. So really grab someone's attention, like, you won't believe what I learned yesterday, and it has been so profound in my business, I just had to share it. That's my first sentence. That's kind of like that nice little hook, like, oh, this is interesting. What did she learn? And if it's something that, if that sentence goes along with the header, and the header is very powerful, and then that first sentence is very powerful, then odds are people are going to continue to read all the way down. So yes, the other thing that you can do when you are writing content is use strong action verbs. Use those strong action verbs. You know, take out words, and of course, I want to just tell you, write. If you're feeling that intuitive hit and you want to just continue writing and then go back, absolutely don't stop when you're in the flow of writing. Like I caution people all the time, like, if you're in the flow of writing, don't worry about it being perfect. Just keep writing, and then when you're done, then you can come back and make those little edits. Then you can come back and make it stronger, strengthen it. So once you come back, look to put in those strong action words if you don't have them in there. Sometimes when we're writing and we're kind of in that flow, we'll write words like very and also, and I do it too. I do it all the time. And those words can be really passive. Also, look at those weak words, and people in the industry, people in the copywriting industry call them weasel words. And what they do is they take away from what you're trying to say. And I use a really great example because on a Facebook Live that I did for another group the other day, and they were really surprised because people wouldn't have thought of a weak word like fight as something not to use. And I'm like, well, think about, if we really think about words, and especially those powerful words, those action words, and the feelings that they elicit. Like, I tell this all the time to clients and prospects, is like, your words have power, they have meaning, and they have feelings behind them. So when you're going back through and you're really trying to beef up your copy or your content or your email, think about some of the words that you're using. And I love this example because fight it sounds like a powerful word. It sounds like an action verb. And it's actually, you have to be very careful with this word. This can be a very weak word when you're using it in a sentence. So for this example, they were saying fight fatigue. And you think about fight fatigue and how that makes you feel. Like, if I'm tired, then fighting fatigue makes me more tired. Fighting against something, pushing against something, that makes me really tired. So that is actually a pretty weak word, and it elicits the idea that if you fight, you may or you may not win. And if I'm going to go for something, I want to win. I want to know I can win. So be really careful with the words that you're using and think about the feelings that they elicit. Yes, they can sound flashy. I mean, fight and fatigue sounds really good together, two F's in, that one little sentence. And what does it feel like when you say that out loud? That's another tip for you guys. Say some of these powerful sentences out loud before you hit that send button. Say this out loud and see how it feels. If you say it out loud and you get revved up and you get expansive, chances are the person who's on the other end reading it will too. Now, if you read it out loud and just like, oh, I just kind of feel flatline after reading this, then go back and add something to boost it up. Add some of those powerful, strong action verbs to boost up that sentence, especially if it's something, if it's a call to action, if it's something where you want people to join you or sign up for a call or read onto your blog. You really want to make sure that that sentence is powerful enough to elicit a feeling of wanting to take action. So here's something else that you can use, and I caution this one too, because I want to make sure that we're being really authentic with our copy. It's part of what I teach. So leave them hanging. And you know what? It's totally okay if you don't want to give away all your good stuff. If you are just like, you know what, I have programs where some of this information is very proprietary, so I don't want to hand this all out. that's an instant where you can authentically leave them hanging. And it can be simple as, guys, I have a technique that has worked wonders for me. Sign up for a call and let's talk about getting you into one of my programs so that I can help you move forward. There's nothing wrong with leaving people hanging like that, especially if it's something proprietary in your products and services that they're only going to get if they work with you. So that's an instance of leaving them hanging, and also getting them to, to want more from you. Because I mean, we are in the industry to make some money, because if we don't make some money, we can't continue to own a business. There's unless this is just all heart-based and you have other income streams helping you, you need to make money in your business. So you don't have to give everything away, especially that proprietary information. And this is what I'm going to leave you guys with one more tip, because I feel like I'm overloading you with copywriting information, because I could go on and on and on. And I really want to make this point, because this is really important when you're sending out like query letters, when you are trying to engage people and you're trying to shift their perspective a little bit so that they're thinking about what it is you're talking about in a different way. So take a different angle. I mean, I encourage you guys to really dig in deep and to think about a different perspective, or use one of your own examples. This is wonderful for storytelling marketing, when you thought something was so straightforward and then you decided to think outside of the box and what it did for you. I guarantee whenever you step over that comfort line, and this goes with your business, with the copy you do, with your products, whenever you step over that comfort line, that comfort zone line, and do that out of the box thinking, that's when you get these really interesting perspectives, these different angles. And people take notice when you take different angles. Now, I know there's a lot of business coaches and other coaches out there that will look at what everyone's saying and just like, you know what? I'm going to say the opposite, whether or not they believe it or not. So let's bring in that authentic marketing piece too. Let's bring that in for when we're looking at a different angle. Now, you don't have to do this, see what resonates with you, but you don't absolutely have to look what everyone else is doing and decide, I'm just going to do the opposite because I want to take that different angle. If you don't believe in what you're saying, no one else is going to believe you either. Remember, words have power, and the power you put behind them, the intention you put behind them, people will pick up on that. So I want to make sure that I'm telling you guys to be very authentic with choosing that different angle. And if it's something that you absolutely believe in, this different angle, this different, if you're finding that, you know what, that person doesn't resonate with me. That's usually what I do. I'm like, what that person is saying doesn't resonate with me at all. This angle, however, does. This is how I feel. This is my perspective on it. And I think a great example for me particularly is, using some of those bullying techniques to make the sales, saying stuff like, you don't know what you're doing, your business, saying stuff about your business stinks because you're doing X, Y, and Z. I'm really not into taking that approach of shame. Like, I don't like that. That doesn't resonate with me. I don't believe that that's true. Instead, I will choose that different angle. Instead of making people feel shameful for what they're doing or what they've done in the past in business, like, it's okay. You absolutely are a student when you're learning the entrepreneurial journey, and there's no manual. There's no manual to how you're going to handle your business, to who you are, especially when you're stepping out in the world. There's no manual to tell you how to do all this stuff. It's the same way with children when they come into the world. Yes, there's wonderful books to help you, but there's nothing that can prepare you for being a parent when you haven't been one before. And you have to think of your entrepreneurial journey as your baby. Oh gosh, I haven't done this before. So this is going to be brand new for me. And having patience with yourself, having patience, and coming from that student and, I'm going to learn this. And it's okay if something doesn't go my way, then I will just refocus and shift a different way and see how that goes. Perfectly normal in business. We all do it. And I'm here to tell you that everyone stumbles. Everyone has to figure things out for themselves. And there's no cookie cutter. There's no cookie cutter information for every person. So yes, That's my message. That is my different angle, and this is how I came to it. So I hope you guys enjoyed today and got some really good tips on how to create some content and how to get things going in your business and some different ways of thinking about copy. So again, I'm going to do a Facebook Live at 12:15 today, and I'm going to tell you some areas where you can start putting yourself out and making yourself more visible that you may have not thought of, and some quick tips for researching those and how you can interest people to take you on, to say, yeah, I want to interview. Yeah, I'd love to communicate with you. So I'll do a quick Facebook Live on that, give you guys some new ideas, some fresh ideas, give some inspiration to keep moving forward. So thank you so much. I hope you guys enjoy it. I hope you're having a wonderful day. All right, bye.